asking for the opinions of people whose lives you wouldn't want to live through is crazy. Hola, j'espère que vous allez tous bien. My name is Kira, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about the tips and tricks that I have to stop caring about what other people think of you. As the eldest daughter in an African household, I do have the credential to be able to say, I don't care about any of the things that will hinder me from living a life of peace, of ease, tranquility, so on and so forth. These are the tips that I've developed over time to be able to have the level of confidence that I have and not be bothered by other people's outside opinions of me. So if you're struggling with confidence, you're struggling with being a people pleaser, please no more. It's okay to care, it's okay to be empathetic, to want to consider other people's opinions, but if it's getting to the point where it's hindering you from living the life that you truly want to live, basta. I'll help you with that right now, okay? All right, so let's get on into the video. So the first thing that I would say that has helped me is knowing myself, my worth, being a gem, a jewel, because there are things that you just shouldn't tolerate, whether it be in a relationship, so dating or what have you, whether it be in friendships, whether it be in family. If people are disrespecting you, calling you out your name, to me, it you don't know yourself. Let's say you meet somebody for the first time and they call you out your name, and let's say it's in an endearing way, so they don't mean harm by it, but they say, hey B, or something like that. Although it might not be intentionally disrespectful, things like that need to be checked, because I don't refer to my friends as that. I don't let my friends refer to me as that. So you, a stranger, are not going to refer to me as anything other than my name or a pet name, something respectful, something cute, something classy. You're not calling me out my name, and that's because I know myself. Nowhere in the Bible does God call you out your name. Why would you sit there and let somebody disrespect you, call you out your name when that's not your name, and you don't nip it in the bud? Though not all the time. In a situation where respect is in jeopardy, your silence is complacency. Your silence is acceptance. If somebody disrespects you and you allow it, it's because you don't know yourself and you're simply surrendering to that. You're accepting it because, again, there are things that you simply should not tolerate. If you're fine with people calling you out your name, that's your business. But I think that it's important for you to realize that knowing yourself is a key thing for you to not let people play with you, play with your name, play with your character, play with whatever. Know yourself. And I emphasize this so much as well because when you don't know yourself, when you are basing your identity off of other people's opinions of you, you're so easily malleable and you're so easy to break. You're going to be used as a play toy because other people will see potential in you before you see it in yourself. That is a tragedy. To be the last person to see your worth and to have everybody else take a piece of the pie, abuse you, use you, chew you up, spit you out, only for you to look at yourself in the end and you don't even recognize who you see in the mirror. All that because you didn't know yourself. Learn yourself. The Bible tells you time and time again who you are, who you ought to be. Carry yourself with boldness, love, light, carry yourself like you're somebody to be respected. You must respect yourself first before even fathoming somebody else respecting you. The essence of who I am is authenticity. Being genuine, being flawed, and being open about it. I don't carry myself in the ways in which people on the outside have judged me to be. At first glance, if that were true and I chose to carry on the many titles and the many, whether it be insults or praise that people had put on my name, I think I'd be a very different person, but I let words bounce off of me. The things that people say, sure, I can receive it. If it's a compliment, if it's a constructive criticism, again, I'll receive it with grace and with appreciation and with a genuine desire to change it if it warrants that. But if it's not something that is positive, it's just gonna fall right off of me just because I know myself and I know the importance of not letting people's words get to me so much so that I lose my identity. Because what matters is who God has called me to be and who God says that I am. I couldn't care less about other people's opinions of me. That is only because I know myself. So if you don't know yourself, if you don't know what you like, if you don't know whether you're coming or you're going, that's a problem. You need to know yourself first in order to not care about what other people think. The next thing that you need to do is to establish what is important to you. Once you know yourself, you have an understanding of what you like, what you dislike, what you can tolerate, what you won't tolerate. That's the only way for you to be able to draw a conclusion as to whose opinions you're going to take, whose opinions you're just going to simply appreciate, say thank you, thanks for the advice, and then move on and do what you need to do. You must have self-awareness, and I know everybody's self-aware nowadays, but you need to have a genuine understanding of what is for you. What are the things that you value? Family? Is it your career? Is it prestige? Is it respect? Is it health? What do you prioritize? What is important for you? And you can do that by cutting the noise. Know yourself, establish what is important to you, and cut the excess fat. Cut the noise, cut the rah-rah. It doesn't matter, not yet, because I'm not here to say that nobody's opinions are valid, nobody's opinions matter. That's not true. Anybody who tells you that is not being entirely truthful, because we do need validation. We do need to be told, yes, this is good, no, this is bad. And you have the free will to take heed or to not take heed. But at the end of the day, opinions do matter. But you need to be able to build the discernment to understand which opinion matters and which doesn't. The opinions that don't matter are the opinions of those who do not have a full picture of who you are. Nobody truly knows you to the core, like 100%. I don't care if you're living with them. I don't care if you've known them your entire life. I don't care. Nobody's living in your skin. Nobody knows what you do when the lights are off. Nobody knows you at 100% except for God. What I will say is that you should remind yourself everybody has bits and pieces here and there, and the context of those bits and pieces are entirely different. People who've known me in university don't know me in the same way my former gymnastics team members knew me when I was 12. No, my family members don't know me how my best friend knows me. The context is different. People know me in different ways, and I take that into consideration, and you should too. So if you're asking for the opinion of somebody and they only know you within a certain context, you should also remember that they don't know you holistically. They don't know the entire picture. And for that reason, I honestly say to stop asking for people's opinions all the time because they don't have a full picture. And if you have an issue with constantly asking several people because you want this person's opinion and then a second opinion and then a third opinion, if you're constantly asking people for opinion on what you're doing, for one, you're already telling yourself that if other people aren't validating what you say or what you feel or what you think, that your opinion doesn't matter. So you're already conditioning yourself into believing that you're not enough. Going back to the know thyself rule. You must know yourself first and know that your opinion is valid and it's whole. And it's nice to have a second opinion. It's nice to have other people who give you different perspectives. It's important, and that's how you're able to be a better, fully functioning human being who is, I would say, even well-rounded. It's important to have the understanding of different facets of a problem, of an issue, or what have you. But when you're asking too many people for their opinions, that's no bueno. Why? Because so many people can come and put in conflicting beliefs, conflicting opinions, and further confuse you, leading you to even more distress and an even bigger desire to seek out outside validation because, again, you don't feel like you've done enough on your own to convince yourself that your opinion should be valid. If you make mistakes, then you learn from it. If you made the right decision, then hooray. But always having to ask other people for their opinions, especially when they don't have the full picture of who you are, background, the highs and lows of your relationship, your mental health. People don't have that context. You can't expect them to work miracles. And to add to that, asking for the opinions of people whose lives you wouldn't want to live through is crazy. There are certain people I would not want to ask for marital advice from, childbearing advice from. I wouldn't want it. Career advice, wouldn't want it. If you're doing something that is completely unrelated to me, what advice could you give me about the specific industry that I want to go into? That's not to say that you can't give me any life advice, because that's not true. Everybody had something to give and something of value to share. But if you're doing something that's completely unrelated to what I want to do and I'm asking you for an opinion, it doesn't make sense. So be mindful again of who you're asking opinions from. Why do you need their validation? Why are you searching and seeking so badly for them to approve or give input or insight? But you really have to dig deeper in finding out what they represent, because they're only humans. Humans are fickle. They're here, they're there, they're gone. So why does the opinion of a human being who's as flawed as you are matter, but not your opinion? Again, like I said, humans are very fickle, right? So they'll love on your project, say, yeah, that's a great idea. You should totally start that business. You should totally do that project. You should totally build that building and whatever. And then the next day, I don't know. It's going to be really hard. Like, have you thought about this, that, and the third? Have you? And then they're going to sow seeds of doubt, of confusion, of worry, of anxiety. And you often see people talk about how it's the people closest to them that are the biggest haters, because they feel like they're on the same playing field as their friends. And so when one friend starts to elevate, or one friend starts to make a name for themselves or starts to blow up, that's when the other friend feels threatened. But in reality, it should be motivation for you that God is in the neighborhood. Like, if this person's blowing up, it's only a matter of time before you are motivated and you do something and they put you on. But people don't often think about that, because again, people oftentimes have a crabs in the barrel mentality, and that's why you also should be very, very protective and mindful of safeguarding your innovation, safeguarding your ideas. People have limited mindsets regardless of how close you are to them. Just because you love them doesn't mean that they're not going to talk down on your project or sow seeds of discord or sow seeds of doubt. Who knows? Maybe that plan might seem so much larger than life to them, and it's unfathomable for them to do it for themselves, so they project that onto you. And the funny thing about this human experience, there's also people who will shut down your idea only to praise a stranger, because because they don't see that stranger as competition. They see you as competition, and they think to themselves, I couldn't have thought of that. You're my friend. So I mean, we're kind of on the same level, right? So no, if I couldn't do it, you couldn't do it. And people who have that mentality are incredibly toxic, and you should definitely cut them off, because why are you around me if you think that I'm incapable of doing X, Y, or Z just because you think that you're incapable of doing it for yourself? All of my friends are big and bold, and they have big plans, and I look around and I'm like, this is so inspiring and amazing. And to also be that person that other people come to and they're like, oh my gosh, that is incredible that you did X, Y, or Z. That's amazing. Congratulations. Keep going, keep striving, keep doing X, Y, or Z. Again, validation is great. Validation is needed to be productive. It's needed to keep going, because if you're not hearing any form of validation, what's gonna keep you going? Like, it's important to have that internal monologue for yourself and to also rely on God, but it's great to hear on the outside when it's healthy and when it's warranted. But I think it's important to use discernment and to be aware of the fact that not everybody is rooting for you, even when they say that they are, even when they might show that they are. Regardless, one thing that I can tell you for sure that will boost your confidence to the point where you will not care what anybody thinks is moving. You need to move. Get up off your feet, accomplish something. Get up off your feet, complete a course, learn a new skill, learn a new language, go abroad, do something, do anything, do something challenging. Take risks in this life, because to still be content with playing it safe is, I'm sorry to say, it's a road that will lead to misery and lack of self-fulfillment. I say this with love. You need to move. You need to challenge yourself. Get into action. Even that project that so-and-so said that, I don't know, it might not be a good idea. Give it a go. Give it a try. Just because they said it might not be successful or it might not work doesn't mean that you should not give it a try. You should not give it all you got. Do you want to live wondering what could have been, or do you want to actually be faced with the reality that it's happening, regardless of what it looks like? You will learn from your mistakes. So even if it doesn't work out, all the better. Even if it doesn't work out, you are still doing something that your former self only conceptualized, but here you are putting it into reality and seeing the fruit of your labor, whatever that might look like. It could still look like a seed, but as long as you're working towards something and you're accomplishing something, that is something that nobody can take away from you, whether you fail or you succeed. The only way to gain confidence is through enriching your life experiences. That's the only way. I feel so bold because I have done bold things. I feel so good about myself because I've done things that I'm genuinely proud to say that I've done. If your track record is lame, fix it. It's your life. You have the free will to do whatever it is that you want to do. Use it wisely. You have all of what you need. Don't sit there and be confined to the prison that is your mind, your environment, or what have you. It doesn't have to be massive. Literally one solo day. Go do whatever. Do one thing that's weird. Go talk to that stranger. I couldn't tell you the amount of times that I'll talk to somebody and either they're receptive or they're not. But either way, it doesn't make or break me. I've made genuinely positive connections simply because I was able to get out of my comfort zone. That builds confidence. That builds character. Your ability to communicate, to negotiate, to spark up a conversation with a stranger and end up talking to them for hours. Completely rerouting your day because the conversation is going so well and you're genuinely having such a great time that it doesn't even matter the appointment that I had. It doesn't even matter whatever else, the cleaning that I had to do. I'm here in the moment with this person that I wouldn't have thought in a million years that I would have crossed paths with, but here we are talking about life, children, kids, whatever. And it doesn't matter the age. I talk to old people like I talk to young people. It doesn't matter. It builds confidence. Talk to people. Get out, move, get to grooving, get to accomplishing something. That is really what I want you to take from this video. In addition, of course, to the other things. None of it matters if you do not put these things into practice and if you're not moving. Challenge yourself this week. It's the last quarter of the year. Do something bold. I don't know. I don't live within these limitations because I've, again, as the eldest daughter of an African household, I've combated all of the limitations. I've broken away from all these limitations ages ago. So I might be coming from a place of lack of understanding. I don't understand it. And if it's too scary for you to do like a dinner, like on your lunch break, just sit alone. No earphones, no distractions, no phones. Sit with yourself. Look at your food. Be grateful to God that you have food on the table and that you're eating. Be intentional. Be present. Where are you going? Why are you always, the mind is everywhere. Sit and be at peace with where you are, knowing that you're that girl, period.